Everyone and their grandma is suddenly an ML expert because they asked ChatGPT to write them a poem. Meanwhile, actual ML engineers are making six figures building the systems behind the AI everyone's obsessed with. Here's the kicker. Becoming one isn't rocket science, but 99% of people will fail because they're doing it completely wrong. They're chasing shiny demos, copying tutorials like robots, and thinking a weekend boot camp makes them job ready. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. The whole "you need a fancy degree" thing is complete garbage. Companies don't care if you went to MIT or YouTube University. They care if you can actually build stuff that works. I've seen kids straight out of their mom's basement get hired over PhD candidates because they could actually deploy a model that didn't crash every 5 minutes. The beautiful part? You can learn this stuff for basically free. In YouTube, random blogs written by sleep-deprived engineers at 3 a.m. It's all out there. But let's talk about what actually matters. First up, Python. I know, another person telling you to learn Python. But here's why everyone keeps saying it. Trying to do ML without Python is like trying to eat soup with a fork. Sure, technically possible. But why would you torture yourself? You need to get cozy with loops, functions, and all that boring stuff. SQL too. Yeah, the database language from the Stone Age. Turns out, real-world ML is 80% wrestling with messy data and 20% actually doing the cool AI stuff. Now, about the math, and before you run away screaming, hear me out. You don't need to become the next Einstein, but you do need to understand why your model thinks a cat is a toaster. Linear algebra and probability aren't optional. They're the difference between actually knowing what you're doing and just copying code from Stack Overflow hoping it works. Build a simple neural network from scratch, just once. It's painful, but it's like learning to drive stick shift. Once you understand the mechanics, everything else makes sense. Here's where most people screw up. They watch tutorials until their eyes bleed, but never actually build anything. That's like watching cooking shows and thinking you're Gordon Ramsay. You need to get your hands dirty. Build a spam filter. Make something that predicts house prices. Deploy it somewhere that isn't your laptop. Because a model that only exists in a Jupyter notebook is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Learn Docker. Mess with cloud platforms. Break things. Fix them. Break them again. This ML ops stuff is what separates the wannabes from the people who actually get hired. But wait. There's more brutal honesty coming. The model is just one tiny piece of the puzzle. Obsessing over getting 99.5% accuracy instead of 99.4% while ignoring everything else is like perfecting your signature while your house is on fire. Think about the whole system. How does data get in? How does the prediction get out? What happens when your beautiful model meets the chaos of real-world data? Sometimes a simple model that actually works is better than a complex one that sounds impressive at parties, but crashes in production. And please, for the love of all that is holy, learn to communicate like a human being. Being able to explain why your model matters to someone who thinks Python is a snake is a superpower. Our model improved accuracy by 2% means nothing. We can now catch fraud 30 seconds faster, saving the company $1 million a year. Now you're speaking their language. The field moves stupid fast. New frameworks pop up weekly. Everyone's building chatbots, agents, whatever the trend of the week is. Here's a secret. Most of it is noise. Pick something and go deep instead of trying to learn every single new shiny thing. The fundamentals don't change. While everyone's chasing the latest buzzword, you'll be actually building stuff that works. One more thing. This journey isn't about following some perfect roadmap or waiting for the right moment. It's about starting now, being consistently decent rather than occasionally brilliant, and remembering that even the hotshot ML engineers at big tech companies started by printing "Hello World" and feeling like wizards.